So I think we can start and to work on our agenda. So I think the first thing we have here is to present ourselves. So I'm Kanashiro. I've been working for a while in the Ruby team, maintaining some packages and etc. I think most of people already know me. We have another mic there. So yeah, people will introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Utkarsh, and I've been working in the Ruby team for around 7 months now. And I've been taking care of around 100 packages, and I think 100, 150 packages in the Ruby team. And I'm also a Debian maintainer.
I'm Antonio Terceiro. I maintain the Ruby toolchain, so the interpreter and the base packages. I did maintain Rails in the past, but gave up on that. And yeah, that's it.
Hi, I'm Jongmin Kim, and my handle name is JM Kim. I'm working on a Ruby GSoC project, Rails 6 transition.
Should I continue? Sorry for being late. I'm a bit, because initially there was no video streaming, right? Do we stream this?
Yes.
All right. I'm Georg. I'm based in Germany. I'm maintaining mostly Schleuder, which is a GPG-enabled mailing list manager, and some libraries. Nice to meet you, all of you.
Hi, people. I'm Thales. I'm a student. I'm joining the Debian community now because I used to work with the Kanashiro and Terceiro in the past, and I want to start to contribute now and interested in Ruby packages like to help this team.
I am Nobuhiro Yamatsu. I'm maintenance for some Ruby package, and I am a Ruby committer. Yeah, I'm came from Java. Thanks.
I'm Hector. I co-maintain a Ruby Rails application in the team and try to help if I can.
Hello, I'm Anjali. I'm based in Taiwan. I maintain the open build service package in Debian, so that's why I joined the Ruby team.
Open build service.
Sorry. So the next topic of our agenda is just to discuss our plans for the Bullseye release. So what we want to have for Bullseye. We have some topics here. The first one is Rails 6 transition. I think Young Kim can give us an overview of your work, the status, and.
Well, okay. Rails 6 will be.
Sorry.
Rails 6 is released on April, RC1, but not yet released the stable version. And right now, my project is my GSoC project is Rails 6 transition. So I am doing the ID dependencies transition. So I packaged all the dependencies, and now, well, I packaged Rails also for pumping up from 5 to 6 the Rails. And through C is reviewing my package and will be uploaded to experimental. And then, yes, I have to start the rdepends transitioning, but not yet started. There is a wiki page, Sala wiki page. If you follow there is a to-do list, maybe last year or 5.2 transition. That is same with 5.2 transition.
Yes.
And you can follow up my project and yeah. This is why.
Do you have any blockers or junking?
Do you have any blockers?
Or
Or do you know GitLab might work with Rails 6 or stuff like that?
Well, almost of streams are not yet packaged, not yet patched for Rails 6, right? As Rails 6 is not yet even released for stable. So, well, yet the most blocker is of almost of streams are not patched for Rails 6, and from
so there are many libraries that needs to have
Patching.
Rails 6. They
Yeah.
are using Rails 5.2, I think 5.2.2 right now.
yes, yeah,
So yeah, that needs to be done. I think even Lumio needs to be, patched for Rails 6.
yeah.
yeah, I think in general this is a first good step for our plans for Bullseye, because in this Buster release we have some problems with Rails 5 transitions because we start late. I don't know, 3 or 4 months before the release, and we didn't have enough time to do these transitions. All the apps migrate to Rails 5, so we don't have Redmine and Open Build service in this release because it was too late for us. So I think this is something that we need to work on right now in the beginning of this release cycle in general. So if you can get this in experimental, the people maintaining those applications can start to work with that, and that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any ETA for the stable release of Rails 6? So is it within this year or next year, or is there any rough plan?
There was an ETA. There was, April 13, April 30. 3 months ago was planned release for Rails 6 final stable release, but not yet released for some reason. I don't know. And right now seems no ETA for releasing date.
Any comments on that? I think we need to do that as soon as we can. So thank you for working on that.
Thank you.
Do you want to?
No, take the 2.7, 2.8. I'll take the next ones.
Okay. Okay. Another thing that we need to discuss, especially with Antonio, if about this Ruby interpreter transition. So if you want to move to 2.7 or to 2.8 until the Bullseye release.
7 is going to be released by the end of this year, and by the time 2.8 is released, I think it's too late for Bullseye. So usually what we do is we release with the Ruby that was released on the year before the freeze starts. So, but we could try if Bullseye goes like Buster and the freeze is like in the beginning of 2021, then it may work if we have an upstream release candidate a lot before that, but otherwise it's probably too late. Yeah, we need to try to, because they usually release a preview a few months before, maybe September or August, don't remember exactly. But so if we have 2.8 preview in unstable at that time, maybe we can do the transition. But it's also nice if we can check. So yeah, it would be nice to check with Ubuntu also, because they usually release the same Ruby as us, but then they releases are off from Debian by almost a year. So the latest LTS was 1804, and Buster was released more than a year after that. So we are off by 1 year with Ubuntu. And well, not that we want Debian to wait for Ubuntu or anything like that, but it's nice to not break our largest derivative. But yeah, I think that the most probable is 2.7.
I think we can try to do something we did in the 2016. So we had a sprint to work on that. Do you think it's...
Yeah, sure, that works.
And
It's nice if the interpreter is in before the sprint, so then we can fix just the libraries and everything that breaks with it.
Sorry, I didn't have a comment specific to this. I will speak afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Do you want to say something now? I mean,
Well, I would chime in if this topic is like finished.
yeah. Okay. That's
it?
finished, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Could we, or I would have 2 more points for the to-do in mind.
Okay.
One is Antonio requested help with the tool chain maintenance.
Yeah.
we will discuss that.
Further down.
Yeah, it's further down. Yeah. Below that.
Let's see if you have many
Yeah, so I'm that down in the priority list. Okay, that's fine.
No, you are not. So you
Yeah, so that is something I've been wanting to do. Use deb-helper compat equal to 12 instead of deb-helper in the dependencies, and also using the dcompat file explicitly. I mean, that's not needed if we use deb-helper compat equal to 12.
Yes, just do it.
Yeah, that's fine, right?
Yes.
I hope that won't be an issue with backporting and stuff.
Probably not.
Okay, then, okay, that's resolved.
you're going to...
I'm doing this already for some of my packages. As far as I know, I wouldn't put my hand into fire for this, but it doesn't pose a problem regarding backporting.
Okay.
But I'm not totally sure on this.
Can we write a script or something that does it for every package, because doing it manually
Yeah,
for all
I think someone already wrote that script. Yes. Yes.
that deletes the decompat and bumps.
Well, someone in Debian probably already has a script that
okay.
changes several Git repositories at once, and we should just find that instead of writing our own. So, with regards to the problem with DWZ, we need a new Ruby upload disabling compressed debug sections.
Right.
And yeah, we'll talk about more about that when we reach the call for help topic.
Okay. Okay, so another thing that I've been wanting to do is make all the packages auto-PKG testable. That requires a lot of work. I mean, so for instance, there are AWS family that are dependent on each other, and so fixing them is a little tough. Similarly for other packages, so not all the packages are auto-PKG testable. Some are missing the spec or the test directory from the upstream, because we're using rubygems.org instead of the GitHub tarball. So I think that is something I'd be wanting to do. Can we switch to GitHub tarball instead of rubygems? Is that possible? Because other teams are doing that.
The problem is figuring out what's the correct repository to get packages from. Because with RubyGems it just works if you have the name and you get the packages. But
I think that is a little extra scripting work. But then if
if the homepage field of the metadata points to GitHub, it should probably be fine to assume that's the correct Git repository. Yes. Yeah, I'll be fine with having special case for GitHub in Gentoo Deb and use that on Debian Watch automatically. That should be probably fine.
Yeah. Okay. So that could be done maybe in in some sprints, or like LHF, like Pearl team has, maybe a sprint in a bi-weekly sprint, twice in a month, or maybe once a month. We could have a common timing and work on a couple of packages.
Yeah, I think we can try to do something like that, because it works pretty well in the Pearl team, these low-hanging fruit meetings. So I don't know, we can set up a time or whatever, and if you're available, just show up, and yeah, we can try it at least.
Yeah. Okay, so this is something Cedric wrote, and I would probably agree to use CME. There are lots of things that are not needed. Say, for instance, version caps the version requirements in the D-control file. That could be fixed with CME, but then most of the people don't do it. Most of the packages have insignificant data in the D-control file. That could be fixed with CME, so probably we could start using it maybe. If I'm using it, for instance, if maybe we have a common agreement on this, maybe we could start using CME for all the packages.
Yeah, I don't see why not. We could even integrate that into Gen to Deb and automate it.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. Everyone should be reviewing the GIFs before committing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Gen to Deb does things for them, but so yeah.
Someone's adding another topic. I think it's Cedric or not. But okay. Also to push changes. Okay. Yeah, I think it's something related that we're talking about, some massive commits or
Okay.
to
Okay, right.
yeah, we can automate that and use scripts and
Phew. Okay.
okay.
Should
I
we
think,
move to the
yeah, we
data
can
support?
move because we have a lot of stuff to say.
Okay. So the next stuff is reviewing and sponsorship process for the newcomers. Right now, if you check the mailing list archive, and probably it's I can only see Praveen doing almost all the sponsorship stuff, at least for me in the starting, and a couple of people I know. And I think we could do better in reviewing and sponsorship of newcomers package, maybe.
Yeah.
Could we use Salsa CI for these kind of packages? And then
would that be enough? I mean, passing the CI is not enough, right? I mean, there are lots of other things as well that needs to be reviewed. So that needs a little manual work in the start, but then, I mean, yeah, that requires that. So if DDs in the Ruby team are willing to take that up, that'd be great, I think. Because, yeah, we do need a lot of people to work on packages that are maintained within the Ruby team, and the number of such packages are huge. So, yeah. Yeah.
I think there's some value inside what Hector just said. I think the Salsa CI is a pretty good thing, and the Salsa CI team does a pretty good job setting up all these pipelines. So not everyone needs to invent his or her or whatever own. If we would encourage new people, like we would create, or they could create themselves, a repo, would push their stuff, and then automatically the CI would run, and it would run lintian. It would check that the build is working at all, and and there's still then manual work needed for the copyright, for example.
Yeah.
But at least you would have some checks done automatically and just get the result. And then you could even teach the people there are checks run automatically. Just look at the results and act upon them, and you could empower people and yeah. So maybe it would even like mean less work for us. I could imagine if done properly and after some time or so.
DDs need to take that up maybe. A couple of DDs need to look after that maybe. I mean, in the starting, for sure.
Are we
It's working.
proposing that including the a CI pipeline in packages be a standard thing? So everyone who is doing a package should be including a CI file anyways?
Yeah, we should have a template or something like that.
Sounds good.
So this could be a
I
standard,
need to type.
maybe implemented all over, because we are planning to do something with in the Golang team.
Okay.
Including newcomers as well as the existing devs, they all include CI pipelines. Or we could have a generic CI pipeline template, which could be used by for most packages.
I have a question. Where is the documentation, the official one, or this one you refer here?
That's
The one to improve?
a Gobi doc. Sorry?
No, the documentation
For newcomers.
for newcomers.
Oh, right. So that's under wiki.debian.org. I think diaspora packaging.
Oh, it's scattered at multiple places.
Yes,
Yeah. We
Yeah,
need to
okay.
document the stuff too. I mean,
So
Probably.
You need the mic.
At this moment, let's say for setting up the environment for development for Ruby packages, a lot of documentation is scattered at multiple places on the wiki. We could probably have a GitLab page, the Salsa GitLab page of a Ruby team, and have it at a centralized location there.
Yes, so this is like a deja vu for me because we discussed writing down the Ruby policy like several times and never got around to do it. And I'm a little skeptical about wikis and all that because wikis are great, but if there is no one taking care of them, they just go crazy and you end up with stale information and everything. So maybe we should have that inside of the gem2deb source package, or maybe inside Ruby dash or the Ruby defaults package or something, because that increases the chances that people pay attention to it, I think.
well, I would suggest maybe create a Markdown file, and then you can, with GitLab interface, you just read the thing and you can update.
Yeah, that also works.
For most of the teams, we are actually creating pages. Let's say for Go team, we have go-team.pages.debian.net, and we are like it's not very extensive yet, but we are getting all the resources which are required for Go under that same page, and that points to other links wherever we need to refer to. So we could.
Similar is the process for Pearl team as well, and it's fairly well documented, I think.
Yeah, and it supports Markdown. It supports most of the formats that people want to contribute into.
Yeah,
Markdown is well supported.
It can also take pull requests, merge requests.
Yes.
So that's
Yes. So that seems pretty well to me, at least for devs. Wiki is developers are lazy editing wikis. That's what I know.
I like this idea, creating such a GitLab-driven page, but I'm not really sure about the difference. Like, if it's true that devs are lazy in editing wikis, how does a Markdown file then help? Probably it's like about taking care of documentation, right? And it's not really.
Yeah, probably.
The backend is not really important. I would guess at least.
Okay, so that brings us here to sprints, I think. All this work that we've mentioned, the documentation stuff, fixing Gem2Deb, frequently, that's a one-time work, but then auto PKG tests, we could have maybe Ruby sprints yearly. We could meet at some place. I mean, is that possible? So for instance, Cloud Team is having a...
Debian has the money, we just need people to organize it.
Yeah, so
So it would be, the question would be who wants to lead the sprint organization? Where, which time of the year would be, the place?
Yeah, I think that is something we need to discuss on the mailing list or somewhere.
Yeah, I think the mailing list is good, but we
Yeah.
can take advantage of some mini DebConf somewhere else. I don't know where, and maybe do a sprint in the week before or later.
So Butil, who is not here unfortunately, but he's up there at least.
Yes.
He wanted to do a sprint this year in Paris, which didn't work out. But as far as I know, he still keeps hold to this idea to do it next year probably. And also, we just had a meeting about doing another mini DebConf in Germany next year, not Hamburg again, but in a different city, probably early autumn. But we are quite like distributed around the world, so might take some money to gather all of us in one place.
Yeah.
I think Europe will be the best place because we are people from Brazil, we have people from India, so maybe. Because I'm planning to organize a mini DebConf in Brasilia next year, here in Brazil. But I don't know if it's the best place because people from India
Yeah.
need to
Maybe a
come.
central location, something, but that needs to be discussed on the mailing list. That would be
Yes.
better, probably, instead of just a couple of us discussing. So yeah,
Yes, an action needed.
Or maybe,
Who will send
Well,
this email?
I will.
Okay.
but maybe you could organize like different sprints, like one in Brazil with Brazil developers, another one in India with Indian developers, so you are able to have more people in those sprints, and maybe have one global sprint having like few people, but more the core people meeting there, and I don't know, just
In my opinion,
depending what the goal
I'm not
is.
sure if that is going to work because we need to concentrate on the Ruby team specifically. So from India we have a couple, and I mean if we can gather somewhere where all of us can be, that would be great. I mean that could get a lot of things done in a shorter amount of time. That's my opinion. I mean instead of having chunks of people in different places, we could maybe have an yearly meeting in some central place, or let's have it in this discussion on the mailing list. Yeah. Okay. Add my name to it. I'll do it. Add me. 2102.
Okay.
Call for help. There
So-
we go.
There we go. Antonio, call for help.
Yeah, that's well. I said in the mailing list, but yeah. So you notice that there's nothing happening on the Ruby toolchain since like a few months because of DebConf and everything. So we need more people working on it. I don't want to abandon the Ruby toolchain. I'm still I still have fun doing it, but sometimes I have other stuff to do that's more urgent for me at least. So if we have more people working, it's better, and it doesn't depend only on me. Also Christian, but Christian is also busy with other things. So maybe.
Do you have documented the work that is to be done or something like that somewhere? Maybe. Or maybe can you do that in a
No,
week, in a
yeah.
month?
Just the BTS information.
Yeah, it's mostly handling the BTS, handling security issues.
Okay.
So yeah.
Handling stable in special, and paying attention to upstream and doing the transitions. So the last time we did the transition, I documented everything. So all the steps of a Ruby transition are documented, and we have a list of toolchain packages beyond the interpreter itself. The transition in the wiki. Yeah, it's /teams/Ruby, and you find from there. So there's like a 6 or 7 phases of transition. It's documented.
Okay. In the mailing list, I offer myself to help. So maybe after DebConf. I don't know if other people are interested
I
in
could help a bit.
work on
Yeah,
that.
just
So
do it. I mean, the first task would be to fix the compressed debug
Yeah.
sections, which should be a one-line patch. But I mean, it's you get the source package and you kind of figure out how it works. There is nothing weird there. It's just regular package. There's nothing different from anything else, so it should be fine.
I guess that's part of the tool chain as well. I worked on Gem2Deb a while ago, but just one like improving stuff and updating defaults and so on. But I would keep on doing this. I can't commit currently to do more than this, but this I could offer at least.
Please go ahead. Several of the topics we discussed in the beginning of the BOF are things that need to be changed in Gem2Deb. So yeah, please just do it.
Yeah, if you're going to change something in Gem2Deb, could you also write a patch or something that would add the upstream metadata? So that Lincoln often does not complain, but then it shows that it is good to have a metadata of all the packages. Like, so for instance, Perl team has and other team has, JavaScript team has this. So it'd be good if you could add that patch to have the upstream metadata. That could be fetched from, of course, rubygems.org.
Yeah, honestly, personally, I'm not really sure about this file, but yeah, I could do this still.
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
It feels like quite a lot of duplicated content, and again, one file more, and it's mostly content which is already available within other files, right? So, but yeah, will do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That brings us here.
Huh?
That brings us here, right? Different word. So, Andrew raised this up, so it'd be better if you could, speak about this.
Okay. So I do the packaging for open build service Ruby app, and I realized that the Ruby gen was designed is not to have the backward compatibility. So some upstream will request some specific version of the gens to run with their app. But in Debian, we have only one version policy, so that's the problem for packaging those kind of things. So in the stretch version, we have to embed the gens, specific version gens in that package directly. But I think that will be probably also the same issue for other Ruby app. I don't know. But the discussion is for the different version of gens available, not the Ruby version available. Yeah, gens, different version of gens.
That could you do a Control Z maybe? Yeah.
Okay, I think this is a problem that most of the people maintaining apps, Rails apps are facing. I don't know. The people working with GitLab may have some feedback about that. I don't know how you work.
I mean, everything is embedded, so if Rails doesn't work, we embed it for now. But then, you want to speak something about it? Okay. You were saying something about not being able to maintain different kinds of.
Yeah, that was in the context of thinking the discussion is about the Ruby interpreter itself. That we know doesn't work. So we tried that a few years ago with Ruby 2 and Rails 2 and Rails 3. So we had both Rails 2 and Rails 3 packages. Didn't work very well because you end up with stuff that requires one and stuff that requires the other, and the packages conflicted, so you couldn't co-install them. And this is not a problem that's specific to Ruby. Everything else is having the same issue. If you go look at PHP, you have the same issue. If you go look at Node stuff, there's the same issue. And I'm not sure what's the fix for that beyond beyond using containers or some other way of. I mean, my point is that the solution to this is not Ruby specific. We as Debian need to find a solution for those cases, and maybe there is no solution. The solution is to use containers, but yeah, no, I'm not sure.
So do you think a workaround would be to embed, like we've been doing so far?
For unofficial packages, probably, yeah.
Okay. The second thing also you wanted to speak about, like providing container support to users like Upstream does.
Okay, I have facing some issue with Open Build Service, and then I report to Upstream, and Upstream could not reproduce this because that we run in complete different set of the genes than Upstream runs. So they after they review my package, they was very mad on us because that we not following Upstream. We are just something like a dirty hack to work around, comment out some genes that we don't have in Debian. And we thought that we don't need this, and the application should runs, or some the version that requires the genes are not existing in Debian. So we also hard code this in the gene file and try to make a package works. Of course, that we do this, we try to get application runs on Debian. And then I spend a lot of effort. Okay, I finally get the web interface works. And then after I very happy and then start to using it, I click, okay, I got something wrong. And it completely doesn't work at all. And then Upstream cannot reproduce this. And then they say, why don't we just run exactly the same version of genes that the Upstream runs? So that Upstream can ensure the security update can price. Because sometimes the security update is in the broken genes, but not in the application itself. But if we run in totally complete different set of version of the genes in our Ruby app, it doesn't work, and the Upstream cannot support. And we are become the Upstream to fork and have to maintain the application. This is what the Debian should like to do, right? So that's the things that I discovered, and I wonder. Because I ask a lot of Ruby developers, they are running production app for the company website or something. They all using containers. So I'm not sure if we have any way to provide such an infrastructure to run completely the same version of the gens for some Ruby app, and then have Upstream to support. It's like I maintain the open build service. It's not only the Ruby app. It's a 10% Ruby app, and the rest is just infrastructure. Can be done in Debian package and also use Perl or other applications. So I wonder if there's a way in Debian we can provide such support. And then if we can provide, I think the most upstream that would be happy to choose Debian is the best distribution because Debian support a container for them to run their app. It's like a production way.
So you're saying that it would be useful to have like a official Docker container that's Ruby plus Debian, Debian plus Ruby, and that people then use bundle inside of it to install their specific versions of things they need?
I think that it doesn't matter it's a Docker container or however, we should provide something is a minimal environment for Ruby and Debian so that most of companies or users who want to run the production from Ruby app, they can use that kind of container.
Yes, but what's inside that container? The Debian base plus Ruby?
Probably.
Well,
or I don't know. What's the best way for the Ruby developers? I really have no idea because I'm not Ruby developers.
Well, can people already do this? Use Debian base image and then install apt install Ruby and be happy?
Do we have anything?
I'm not sure what is the problem we're trying to solve because I mean using the Debian base, installing Ruby from Debian, and then installing things from Ruby gems because they want specific versions of every gem. That's already possible and easy to do. Not sure why. Why do we need more than that?
I haven't tried this myself. Then I don't know. It's an easy thing. So I'm
Yeah,
not a Ruby
it is.
developer. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the problem is marketing, and we need people to know that they can do that. Not sure because yeah.
But for packaging wise, if I want to package like an open build service, then how do I just package that the Ruby app separately?
Okay. So you want to have a Debian package that has stuff inside of it that's not.
I don't know what's the best way to do this because since that we don't want to package it directly in Debian, we want to package that for the container, right?
Yes. Don't we have an option for Gem2Deb to bundle all dependencies? I'm not sure. I have to check. But yeah, so there is something for Python that's similar, where you say, I want to build a Debian package, but I want to use a Python virtual env in the package, so I can install cherry-picked versions of Python packages inside my own Debian package. Maybe we need something similar to that. We need someone to do the work, but it should be possible. Okay, so the problem is providing a Debian package, not just, okay, yeah. Should be possible.
Okay, the next thing is to try to build all reverse build dependencies. Very nice, but sometimes can take a very long time, especially when it goes back to GitLab. That's right. I do agree with this, but then I don't know what's a workaround. Anyone knows a workaround? Maybe we could mark it as.
Yeah, so in the GitLab CI session, no, Salsa CI session earlier today, Agustin said they were looking into supporting in Salsa CI building reverse dependencies. So
okay.
Maybe we want to help with that.
Yeah.
And see how it goes, because yes, building everything. When I'm building a new Ruby, I don't run the test for everything, for sure. So, yeah.
Okay. ci.debian.net provides API for running auto-PKG tests of reverse dependencies. Yeah, that is something I think CI team is doing. Salsa CI? Ah.
Sorry, going back to the building all reverse dependencies, is that in the official archive or is this like for testing outside of the archive?
So right now we're using at least I am using the meta build script, right? So if I want to test a package in a ch root, I do a meta build, and then it lists all the packages that are that are reverse dependencies, and we need to check if the if the main package is not breaking the other packages. So that is a part of a build script there in the meta repo on your local system.
So it's something you want to try locally. Like it's not auto package tests meant to do that.
Yeah, that's the other topic.
No, the auto PKG tests run the upstream test suite of a given software against the installed package. Or you can also run your own provided stuff. You can ensure with these tests that the installed package is doing what it should do.
Okay.
And the point about building reverse dependencies is about if you prepare a new upstream version of a library, for example, ensuring that this new version of the library doesn't make conflicts for the depending softwares.
Okay, we are running out of time, so we can keep this discussion outside in the mailing list or during DebConf. So thank you for your presence, and yeah, let's keep discussing this stuff.